Hi there! Welcome to Mission 4, Lesson 3, where our student objective is to identify, define, and draw perpendicular lines. So let's take a look at identifying, defining, and drawing perpendicular lines. Find what perpendicular lines are. Perpendicular lines are when two lines intersect and form a right angle. So when two lines intersect and form a right angle, those are perpendicular lines. So, refresher, what is a right angle? A right angle is that angle that is that perfect L shape, right? It forms that 90-degree angle. So, a right angle would be, we're going to have a perfectly straight line there. Get out of here. And we're going to have it connects here, forms this perfect up and down, right? That perfect L. That is a right angle. So these are considered perpendicular lines because there are two lines that intersect, cross, or meet, and they form a right angle. So let's take a look. Now, if I was drawn lines here, okay, so this would be an example of a perpendicular line. So let's say I have this line, and then it intersects. I have the second line, and they intersect like this, and they form a right angle? Well, let's take a look. Yeah, these ones form a right angle because look, it forms that perfect L shape right there. So both of these lines are perpendicular. Okay. Now, contrarily, if I was drawing a line, two lines, and we had this line and we had this line, let's say they cross right here. Let's take a look at, they make up four angles, so an angle there, an angle there, an angle there, an angle there. Are any of these angles that they make up right angles? No, they are not. So these lines are not perpendicular because they don't cross and form a 90-degree angle. Whereas these lines, they do. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's four 90-degree angles. There's not a 190-degree angle here. Not a one of that perfect L shape. This one's an obtuse angle. That's an acute angle. This one's an obtuse angle. That's an acute angle. Okay, so this one, no. Those lines are not perpendicular. Okay, so again, they have to cross and form a 90-degree or right angle. Now, where it can get a little tricky is, remember, we're dealing with lines. Okay. Whoop. We're dealing with lines. So I'm going to pull up here. Now, let's say we had a line. Didn't want that. Didn't want that. Let's say we have a line here. Okay. And we had a line here. Okay. Now, I made that one a little too curvy here. We're gonna redo this one to get it to be straight up and down. So we're looking for that straight up and down line. Probably the best I can do is right here. Okay, so is this line and this line, are they perpendicular? Are they perpendicular lines? You might, this is a trick, because you might want to say no because they don't intersect. However, remember, if you see an arrow on one side, that means that line keeps going on forever. So you have to ask yourself, will this line eventually cross with this line? And the answer is yes. It will eventually cross with this line if this line keeps going. Now, the second question is, will they form a right angle? Well, so you just have to kind of extend this line out, and this is going to be a little rough. I apologize. It might not match up exactly, but imagine this kept going on forever and ever, straight, like that. Look what it forms. It does, in fact, form a right angle. Okay. So even though the two lines we had didn't intersect that we saw, you have to imagine that they're going on forever if there's an arrow on one side. So you have to imagine that side of the arrow keeps on going. So you have to ask yourself, will these eventually intersect? And then what type of angle do they form? So in this case, yes, these are two perpendicular lines because they would eventually cross and form right angles. Okay? So your job today is to be able to identify these right angles. So again, when two lines intersect or possibly intersect in the future and form right angles, that perfect L shape, then those are perpendicular lines. Good luck to you.